Hi everybody, my name is Cynthia Henry and I will be walking you through the library website and resources that we have for you. My name is Cynthia Henry and I'm the personal librarian for the College of Human Sciences. Let's get started. I am on the library website, as you can see here. You can type in library.ttu.edu and you'll get to the same website, even though that's not what is in the URL. You can also use this URL as well, but I think the library.ttu.edu is pretty easy to remember. Once you're here, there's a few things I could point out here, but we're mostly going to be using a website created specifically for your class, and I'll help you navigate to that in just a second. This is our new website. It just launched this semester, so it may still be. You can use this search screen here. This is our discovery search. It allows you to search for things that we physically have in the library and things that we have online. That's not my favorite search. I feel like a lot of times you get better searches when you get into some databases that are subject specific for your research, and I'll show you how to do that. If you had any questions about the library, you could locate them around on this page. Here's our hours, and then here's some more drop-down issues that you can use. And you do see, if you feel more comfortable on the old library website, that will still be up for about 10 more months. I think we're going to try to take that down next summer. So if you're more comfortable there, feel free to navigate to that place. So I'm going to get us on the Personal Librarian's subject guides. And so here is the Personal Librarian link. We just click on this blue square. Then we're going to select the College of Human Sciences. And then we're going to scoot down to Family and Consumer Sciences. I'm going to click on this link. And then we are on the first link there are several here for different classes and different research options, but I would just go ahead and get into your class. That's 5307, Techniques for Supervision in Family Consumer Science Education. So I'm going to click on that tab, and that will bring us to the forefront of this tab. Again, my contact information is here, as well as on the front link there if you need it. Feel free to reach out to me any way you need to. My email is here, the office number is here, my phone number, or if you happen to be on Skype and see that I'm green, I'm happy to answer questions there as well. So let's talk about this screen just a little bit. This database is listed here in the center, the best for your subject area. And I'm just going to kind of hit the high points here for you so that you know what you can search here. And then we're going to look at one database so you can know how to use it as we move through the process. So Academic Search Complete is a very good tool. It's very broad, so almost any topic that you can think of, there will be some information in there. But it's also good to help narrow down too. So if you are kind of stuck, this is a good place to get started. Then the next one is Education, ERIC, which is for education, and Education Source. Both of these are very much related. ERIC is a database that's been collecting information for a long time. It was built by our government, I think even in the 70s, maybe even the 60s, and was on microfiche before it went online. So feel free to use either one of these, especially if you're looking at Family Consumer Sciences on the education side. I know that a lot of y'all have some different topics, so maybe you're more focused on the education side here, and these two would be great. PsycInfo and Health and Psychosocial Instruments are good if you're looking at some different learning aspects, maybe not so K through 12, but just learning and the behavior learning. And so that is some good information here. Then Scopus, Web of Science, and Article First are kind of databases that include almost all citations, if you will. They're probably our broadest ones in coverage, I would say. And so if you're not finding what you need in the first couple, then look at one of these and see what you get. Article First is not the most user-friendly, but I think it does have almost every article that is published. It may just have the abstract, but not the article, where Web of Science and Scopus nicely team together. Both of these started both heavy in sciences, but have broadened out since late 90s, early 2000s to include social sciences. And of course, that's what family and consumer sciences is. And then occasionally you're going to be looking more health related, which is the last one, Medline here, and then business related if you're looking at that aspect in family consumer sciences. So again, what you are looking for will help you determine which database. And if you get stuck, this is a good time to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help navigate you to the right database for the topic that you're looking for. Quite a few of these are provided by EBSCO, and I'm just going to grab one real quick. Let's just grab PsycInfo and do some searching in there. So you can see this database is provided by EBSCO. This is a vendor, not the name of the database. The name of this database is PsycInfo, and that's good information to know. I have almost every semester somebody tell me, oh, I thought I emailed the article to myself and it didn't come through. Can you help me find out where, can you help me locate that article again? And if you can tell me the name of the database, I guarantee you between the two of us, we can find it. If you can only tell me you were in EBSCO, we probably have definitely 200, maybe close to 300 databases from EBSCO. So it's a lot more digging that would be required. So on this screen, though, I typically use this advanced search. It just gives me a few more boxes here to play around with. And then I also like to scroll down just a bit and click on those scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Scholarly, peer-reviewed, referee, jury, that's all similar terminology. And it just means that that article has been sent to a panel of experts in that field before it's been published in that journal. So it has just a bit more authority. So I'm going to scoot back up here and then we can do some searching. Let's go ahead and narrow down with a term with consumer sciences. And so I put in consumer science. And I'm going to go ahead and run this search so you can see that we will narrow a bit. So we're at about 2,000. I'm going to go ahead and put in another term. I'm going to use the term learning and click search. And it will get me down to 137. Now that's not a bad set. I really try to aim for about 100, especially depending on the topic. Sometimes it's a little more, especially in social science areas. You might get to be 150, 200, and that's still okay. But what we're trying to do is get the best key terms to bring up the articles that we want so that we're not digging through a whole bunch. Now, if you get really small, that may not be useful as well. So like if I only had 25 here, I would be, oh, I need to change my key terms here. And if you get stuck on any of this, feel free to reach out to me at that point as well. So sometimes the problem is you're just in the wrong database for the topic you're using. Or sometimes it's just as simple as changing a single word in your keywords to bring back the information that you need. And just reaching out to me might resolve that situation a bit. So I'm going to just scroll down just a bit so we can see some of our other limiters here on the left. And I'm going to bring up my date to about the last 10 years. So I'm just going to use that slide bar and bring it up to 2007. And it will automatically update for us. And so we're at 90. And what I hope that 90 is, it will give us the best out of what we're looking for in consumer sciences and the best out of what we're looking for in learning. And then we can look at a few of these. So let us look at something. I'm going to use number 3 here. I'm going to click on the title here. And so we can see that the title is right here at the top. And it's Innovative Pedagogies for Family and Consumer Science. This whole thing is the title. Then we see that we have the authors listed next. And then we see that we have the source line. So Family and Consumer Sciences Research Journal. And you can see that that is volume 38, issue 3. And I know it's the issue number because it's sitting in parentheses. And then that's from March 2010. And here's the page range. Everything that I just kind of mentioned right there would be in your citation if you're using this for research. Let's go ahead and look at the rest of this screen and see what we can find. So as I move down, I can see that we have the abstract here, and it just has the summary of the article itself. But we also see that we have the keywords here. Sometimes these are called author-supplied keywords or just keywords. And while these keywords are really good, you know, an author usually knows what he or she has been writing about, but the better terms are these subject terms. And sometimes these are called subjects, mesh terms, like medical heading, subject terms, depending on if you're a Medline, or even descriptors, depending on the database. And these are even more important to us because this article is indexed with these words. So that if I really found that this was the best thing for my research and I wanted to find more like it, using these terms back up in the search would be better than using these terms back up in the search. So think about that. And you can kind of see the difference. So this really listed innovative pedagogies, whereas this just listed innovation. So if I wanted to focus on that aspect, I would want to list innovation back up in my keyword search, not this term. Okay? All right, so let's say we've decided this is something we really want to look at and we want to read. How do we go about doing that? We're going to look over here to the left again, and there's the PDF. I'm going to click on that, and we'll load it up real quick. And we can see the article here. I can read it. I can print it. Now be sure to use this Adobe bar to print as opposed to this outside area. If you want to save or print here, all you would get is this frame. So if you want to save or print in here, you would download it or print it, depending on what you wanted to do with it. The other nice thing about PDFs is that most of the time you can use it to build your citation should you forget to write that information down or, you know, save it some way. Here's the title, here's the authors, and then just by scrolling down, here's the journal information and the volume and issue. And then, of course, we have the page numbers because they're at the top of the page here. Okay, so then I'm just going to click back. And I'm back on my record here. A few things I like to point out on this side is if you click this little cite, it will help you build the citation. So if you're looking for APA, if you'll just scroll down to it, then you could drive this into your into an email to yourself or into a Word document. Remember, when you cut and paste, a lot of times it doesn't keep this hanging indentation, which the first line sticks out and the other two are tabbed in. So now this will be your citation that you want to use. I always just double check. The database tries really hard to be up with the most current information from APA or MLA, whichever one you're using here. But I just double check, you know, that the page number is right, the date is right, all that kind of information. To get out of this area, I just go ahead and click the X here, and I'm back on the record again. And if you're using a citation manager, of course you would use this export to get it into either EndNote or Zotero. If you need information about that, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to discuss it with you. So I'm going to click on my results list link here, and I'm back in the main search area. So let's go ahead and scroll down just a bit. Sometimes I can see the PDF here, but sometimes it's not here. So let's talk about what that means. The Find It button is in the record just where the PDF is as well. So if there's no PDF, you would see it on the left here in the record. But we can use it from this screen as well. So I'm going to click on this. And what it's doing is looking, it's our links resolver, and it's looking through all of our other databases, see if it can find it. It did find this one, and it brought us straight to the vendor website, and you can see that this is Science Direct. And then you have to look around on the screen to see where the PDF is. This one happens to be at the very top with the Adobe icon, and it says Download PDF. But sometimes I see it over here on the right, highlighted in yellow. Sometimes it says Full Text. Sometimes it has the Adobe icon. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it says Download PDF. Sometimes it doesn't. One vendor, for whatever reason, makes you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page to download it. So just look around. But if you ever get to a screen like this and you just don't know what to do next, that's a good time to reach out to me. So I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. And I'm going to actually go into this record so you can see where the Find It button is within this tab. But this is what I would like to point out to you too, is if you get to a spot where you know you want to read an article but you've kind of gotten lost with all the steps maybe, if you'll send me the source line. So I need to know the journal, the volume, issue, page numbers, all that kind of information. Send that to me in an email. Then I will either send you back the PDF, or I will send you an email saying that this is something you would need to interlibrary loan. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But you can add the authors and the title, but I have to have this line right here. Okay, so I'm going to use my results list again. And let's just look at that again. For a second. So this number 6 we found, it took us straight to the vendor site. Number 7, let's see what number 7 does for us. Again, it's looking for it. Okay, so now I found no full text available. So what do we do now? Well, we're going to use interlibrary loan, as I just mentioned before. We're going to use this request it. And I'll show you how it works with my account right now, and then I'll show you how to set up your account as well. And you can do it all online, real easy. So I'm going to click on the request it. It's going to trigger my interlibrary loan account, and that's through our document delivery service here in the library. And so it filled in most of the information here, although it did not fill in the journal title here. So I kind of just scanned this real quick. Oh, and look, this could be added as well. So I'm just going to click back on the tab before. I'm going to pick up the journal title, which is Reflective Practice. And I'm going to drop it over here. And I could add the article author, although you can see that it's not required. Let's see if I can grab it real fast. It's here, it looks like. And, whoops, let me get my tab there. And now, with everything filled in, I could just hit Submit Request. And I'm going to go ahead and do that so you can see what it looks like. Now it's put me back on the front screen of my account, and you can see that the one that I just asked for is right here with a number. And then what happens with our document delivery service, they reach out to libraries around us asking if they have this item and see if they will share it with us, just like we share other items with other libraries. So we all hold hands, because not every library can buy everything that is published. And what happens with document delivery is it usually takes about 48 hours during the business week to process your request. So if you put in something on Tuesday, then you should be reading it by Thursday. But if you put in a lot on Friday night, don't think that you'll be reading them on Sunday. So what happens is, once you submit the request, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second, then you will get an email saying your request is ready, and then there will be a link where you can log into your account. Then you'll use this electronically received, and then there will be a PDF waiting for you. And you can see here are all the requests that I have requested just recently, and I can download those, print them, view them, save them, however I would, just like I got the item out of the database. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out of this. And now I'm back onto the tab that where we requested it. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. And now I'm back into my database. And there's usually about 3 screens that you can use with the Find It. The vendor one that we saw from number 6, where it took us straight to the vendor where the PDF is, and we have to kind of locate it on that website. Or there's one here where they find no full text, and that's what 7 just showed us. And then there's another option where sometimes we have it in multiple places, not just one place. And so if it's in multiple places, the patron gets to choose which place that you can view it. So if there's multiple databases that have it, you get to pick which database you use to view the item. Let's see if number 8 does that for us. I'm not sure if it will, but we'll see what happens. So it's still looking for it with the links resolver. Nope, it took us straight to another website. This one happens to be Wiley Online. And does anybody see the PDF here? I think it's a little not easy to spot this one, because it just has the word PDF. And then you have to click on it and you can get to the PDF where you can read the PDF and see it. Oh, it's still loading. Just a second. Maybe it will come in here. Oh, and you see here at the bottom, it's loading an enhanced PDF, which means it's probably clickable within the PDF. Whereas if you load the basic PDF, if you're a little bit slower connection, then you can do that. Woof, it's sure taking a minute. Maybe I'll go ahead and load the basic and see if that helps. There it is. It's already there. And then I could download it or print it. Okay, I'm going to close this. I'm actually going to use my other tab that I still had open with my picture on it. So we're on the tab for 5307 Techniques. And this is where your document delivery account is. So if you click on this, you will be asked to sign in. So you click in with your e-rater. And it already knew my e-rater. That's why it didn't make me stop, because I just put it in earlier. And so if this is your first time coming into here, the first screen that you will see is how to set up your account. It will be a form where you would fill out information about yourself. It will look like this. Here you go. If you happen to be a distance student, please be sure to use Distance Patron. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory there. Make sure you fill out the information here. If you're a distance student, make sure that you have a good information listed here, because we will be mailing things to you. So we want a true address there. Then I'm just going to click on main menu so I can get back to the front. You can see this is all of the items that you can request. And if you happen to be somebody here on campus, if you actually request for a physical book, you can come into the library and pick it up, and they would be listed here, as opposed to our electronically received items will be listed here. Please know that physical items usually take a little bit longer, and if you're a distance, we will mail those physical items to you, but again, it'll take a little bit longer. So plan 7 to 10 days, depending on if you're on campus or off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign out here, and I'm going to close this tab, and I will be back on the screen that we looked at it from here. The only other thing that I thought would be really useful for y'all is looking at Google Scholar. So I'm just going to grab another tab and open Google Scholar by typing in Google Scholar, getting to that. And this is what it looks like. It's kind of a new screen here. So to make sure that you are synced up with the TTU libraries, I'm just going to use this 3 dashes. Seems like anymore 3 dashes or 3 dots means more information. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to look at settings. I happen to be using Chrome, so these settings may be slightly different in other browsers. I think Firefox has them set someplace else. So if you need help locating any of that, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to click Settings. Now I'm going to make sure that I'm going to click on Library Links. And I'm going to type in Texas Tech and make sure that this is, and search for it. And you see that Health Science Center and Law School come up, but we don't want those checked because we don't have privileges there. We have Texas Tech University Library privileges, and this means full text at TTU Lib. You can keep this open WorldCat. I really like WorldCat. If you want to use that, feel free to do so. So it won't bother you sitting here. Make sure you click Save here, and that's going to put you back on the main screen of Google Scholar, and then we can do some searching. I'm just going to put in consumer sciences. You would think I could be able to spell, huh? And then I'm going to add in learning, and you can see, let's just look at this one. Click on that. You're going to see our links resolver screen. Oh, and this is a good example. This is the third example that I was talking about, where you have multiple locations that you can look at it. So let's talk about how to read this screen. So available from 1997 in Education Source, and also available from 1997 on an OmniFile Full Text Mega, which sometimes these date ranges are different. So depending on your item, what you're looking for, this one is from 2013. So let's say we have one of these that was from 1997 until 2000. Well, we couldn't use that one because ours is from 2013 that we're looking for. So we need to make sure that whichever one we picked included the year 2013. And when there's not an end date, that means it's to present. So feel free to pick either one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. Of course, these are sitting here, but here's also the requested. You know how to use that through document delivery now. And I'm going to go ahead and click here, Education Source. And it pulled up the PDF, and I can read it right here. So that's pretty nice that that's working from Google Scholar. So I'm going to go ahead and close this tab. And then in Google Scholar, you need to know you have to click back to get back on your search. So then we could look at something else here. Maybe this, if we wanted to. Okay, if you have any questions about that, let me know. And the information is on our main page as well. That is some simple tips and tricks using the library and how to navigate quick and easy for yourself. If you need any help, I'm here. Again, my name is Cynthia Henry. It was so good talking with you today.